soul. Oh, I believe we're all one spirit on the spinning ball. God bless us all. One heart believes. Well, I got this here. God bless your soul. I believe we are all one spirit in this spinning ball. God bless us soul. God bless your soul. We are all seeds living in the garden of God's dreams.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Revealing Experience. Tonight, let's give some love to Jim and to Cole. How are we feeling this evening? Nice. So good to have you here and see you. Please sing along with us. We're going to do our new song, Step Into the Light. It's really simple. Step into the light. Step into the truth of who you are. And then when it changes, it's I am and you are the light of the world. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. I am and you are the light of the world. I am and you are the light of the world. I am and you are the light of the world. I am and you are the light of the world.
Step into the light.
You can clap your hands. You can pat your feet. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. I am and you are the light of the world. I am and you are the light of the world. There we go. I am and
light.
Oh, she's going to step right into mommy's arms. And so we continue to open up our hearts and sing about the truth of who we are, that love, that joy, that peace. Reveal.
Reveal the love inside of me. Reveal the love that I was meant to be. And every time I open up, love is what I see. Reveal the love in me, the peace. Reveal, reveal the peace inside of me. Reveal the peace that I was meant to be. And every time I open up, peace is what I see. Reveal the peace in me, the joy. Reveal, reveal the joy.
The joy inside of me.
Oh yeah, reveal the joy that I was meant to be. And every time I open up, joy is what I see. Reveal the joy in me. Reveal, reveal the love inside of me. Reveal the love that I was meant to be.
And every time,
I open up, love is what I see.
Oh yeah.
Every time I open up,
Peace.
peace is what I see.
Oh yeah.
Every time I open up, joy is what
joy
I
is
see.
what I see. Reveal the love,
The
love in me.
Good evening, all, and welcome to the Wednesday night revealing experience. You know, this whole year we're booking up. Well, actually, we're booked up for the, the Science of Mind. The whole year we're reading from the front of that page, and also we have the dates. So today is April 23rd, correct? So we are dealing with. Ooh, I like her speech, her talk tonight. It's going to be about Prac me up. Well, actually, I like that. So we got the Science of Mind text from 168 to 170, but I'm not going to read the whole 2 pages. We're just taking a couple of little snippets out of it just to give you the point about that practitioner. But at the same time, I just got to thank these musicians, Cole, Jim, and Sonny. Just give them a round. It's awesome. It is so awesome. So now I'm going to begin to read. You're going to hear me use like she a lot because that's what I am. So he does use he, but I'm just going to interchange it so we really get the feeling. So the professional, mental, and spiritual practitioner is one who is dedicated to her life. She dedicates her time, her energies, and her intelligence to helping others through mental and spiritual means of methods. The first requisite for the mental science practitioner is a full sense of sacredness and trust. She should no more betray this trust than would a priest who officiates the confessional, a lawyer who handles the business of the finances of a client, a physician who cares for the physician well-being of his patients. Now, it is the practitioner's business to uncover God. God in every man. God is not sick. God is not poor. God is not unhealthy. God is not afraid. God is never confused. God is never out of its place. So the premise upon which all mental work is based is perfect God, perfect man, woman, and perfect being. So, for the first, perfect God, then perfect man, woman. There is a spiritual man or woman who is never sick, who is never poor, who is never unhappy, never confused, nor afraid, who is never caught by a negative thought. These are the tools of thought which, with a practitioner, works. Where does she work? In her own mind. Never anywhere else. A practitioner never tries to get away from the mind within. We are practicing scientifically when the mind refuses to see the apparent condition and turns away to the absolute. That's right. It does not matter so much what one says. It is what one believes when they say what it is that counts. When we believe that we're going to be that professional practitioner, that word is law, and we know that. So go with me in the silence, if you will. There is a power within me that goes beyond me, that handles all things beyond me, and it's working for my highest good now. This power is life. This power is God's life. This power is perfect, and this power is mine now. As I think about how fabulous it is to be connected to the presence, which is so close to my jugular vein, which permeates this entire room, every core of my being is open and receptive to exactly how the service is going to unfold with all the stuff under the presence, which is all God's qualities: health, wellness, beauty, intelligence, inspiration, love. And I'm in the sound of Sunshine's voice, Reverend Sunshine's voice, as we speak. So as she speaks and leaves her message, I know that all I need to do is open up every pore, open up the crown of my head, and open up my heart and receive all the qualities of God I would like to accept. And I know that anyone else here, because it gives me such gratitude to know that the same power I have, they can benefit the same way if they want to be open and receptive. So with that thanks, I say, and so it is.
So,
Amen.
amen.
Now I would like to have Reverend Sunshine Daye come up.
Good
Give her
deal.
a big one, y'all.
Thank you, Rosedale. Thank you for that beautiful prayer and that beautiful reading. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Revealing Experience, and I want to make sure that I include Cole. Thank you, Cole. You stepped off the stage so quickly, Rosedale. Forgot you were even up there blessing us with your music. Thank you so much. And thank you again, Rosedale. Thanks, everybody, for being here tonight. What a beautiful day, huh? I want to talk to you a little bit today about You Prac Me Up. It's really funny because when I was in school learning to become a practitioner, practitioner in the everyday world, if you will, outside of our spiritual community, outside of Science of Mind or our centers for spiritual living, the only time I've ever heard of the word practitioner was like a nurse practitioner. And the word seemed kind of weird for me. And we would try to shorten it up like, oh yeah, I'm in Prac studies and things like that. And it was just kind of like, what is that? Really, what is being a practitioner? And what did Ernest Holmes talk about? And what did he really mean when he talked about being a practitioner and the work that we get to do? And of course, me being very humorous and very funny, You Prac Me Up is just kind of my way of tying in the love, the comedy, like you crack me up, but you prac me up, meaning if we're working together and if I'm doing the work necessary, if I'm pracking you up, I'm lifting you up and I'm knowing the truth about who you are. So what we have an opportunity to do today and be from here moving forward is we have an opportunity to prac each other up. And simply know the truth for and about one another. So here's the interesting thing is that there's a couple of differentiations between a practitioner and a practitioner. And by that I mean we have our licensed practitioners. And I'm so grateful for our licensed practitioners. Our licensed practitioners are represented in Rosedale and Denise in the back holding visual. Jan is a professional practitioner. Dennis and Ginny. These are licensed practitioners who have actually studied and learned a spiritual counseling method so that, and a way of prayer and a way of knowing, and Tim, our video man, he's a practitioner as well, a licensed practitioner. This is their way of learning, and they've gone to school for this over 4 years to study and learn how to be with you, how to hear your concerns, how to ask specific questions to uncover and dive deep within you to uncover these hidden beliefs within you that are acting as a law onto your life. That's a mouthful. They are trained, and they've received the license, and they have to keep their license up. But what they do is spiritual counseling and prayer. They're trained to ask you specific questions to uncover and open you up so that you realize that you've been believing a lie about yourself, about your condition, about your situation, and that by believing that lie is actually a law that is in effect in your life. And it continues to produce these consequences or these conditions or these situations in your life. The key is that the questions that are being asked reveal that the hidden, something that's hidden, something that we don't necessarily know at the top of our head that we believe. It's something that's just been kind of going and going and going. It's just part of life, if you will. Notice Cindy and Bruce. Have a seat. There you go. Right? Now, here's a great example of a law that's happening in life. Because these two beloveds came in, they believe that that chair is going to keep them off the floor. Just like you all did. You all came in, and you just came in and picked a seat and sat down. You believed that that chair was going to keep you off of the floor. You didn't examine that chair. You didn't see them examine the chair, right? Neither did you. You didn't check it out to see if it was sturdy enough. You didn't turn it upside down to see if the integrity of the legs were in place. You didn't check the thickness of the cushion to see if it was good for the cushion. You just sat down because you're operating. There's this hidden belief within you that operates that says, it's a chair. It's going to keep me off the floor. It's going to let me sit at this level, at this height, where I can observe, where I can see and feel, and I'm going to be comfortable. It's going to support my back. And that's how you live. You didn't even think about it. It's just something that happens now. Why? Well, because since you were a child, you've been socialized to sit in a chair. That's how we do here in the United States of America. We train our children, we put them in high chairs, we put them in car seats, we put them in baby chairs, this chair, that chair. Before you know it, we're in all kinds of chairs. Look at how beautiful these chairs are, and they make me feel special when I sit in them. That's how we've been socialized. We've been taught to believe that anything with pretty much 4 legs or even a stool or whatever it is going to hold us up. It's going to keep us off the ground. And so it is with all these other ideas. all these other ways that we've been socialized, all these other ways that we've been taught to believe particular things about who and what we are, about being a woman. We've been socialized. I was reading Facebook the other day, and my friend posted a picture of her daughter with rubber gloves on. Her daughter's 3 years old. The baby had rubber gloves on and was in front of her Easy Bake Oven, making believe that she was cleaning it. Because a few moments earlier, she saw mommy with rubber gloves cleaning the real oven and the real stove. So she took a picture and posted it. You know, here's Gabby cleaning the oven because she saw me do it. And, you know, my response to that was, run, Gabby, run. Don't be socialized that way. You'll be cleaning ovens the rest of your life, my love. Run. And though we have an opportunity to laugh, isn't it so true how these subtle ways of living, how these subtle ways of teaching our children, of teaching ourselves, of how we look at others, and how we begin to become socialized, and this is just what we do. It's just status quo. Don't rock the boat. Don't say anything. This is just my role in life. And yet, the role of a practitioner is to recognize these hidden beliefs, these hidden thoughts that are acting as a law unto our life, meaning it's just the natural way we do things because that's what we've been taught. But when it's a lie, and when it's not the full truth of who we are, when it is less of the full truth of who we are, and that's what we're believing and that's where we're living from, then we cannot accomplish and we can never ever be the fullness of who we are meant to be. Because the truth of the matter is that God is sitting right where you are. The almighty infinite intelligence is you. And if you continue to believe and think that, oh, I'm only human, or oh, I'm less than perfect, or things are not going my way, or I'll never be able to accomplish this, that, or the other thing, it's happening because there is this belief within you that is acting as a law unto your life, and you're just kind of following, oh. You're just following suit. So what is it then, that we get to do and we get to be? Because I pointed out a handful of practitioners, Melissa, Bill, licensed practitioners. But Kay, practitioner, licensed practitioner, we have the opportunity to be practitioners whether we are quote-unquote licensed or not. When Ernest Holmes really talks about a practitioner, he's talking about the individual person who practices these principles and practices these universal principles in his or her life. You may not want to be a licensed practitioner. You may not want to have clients or hold groups. However, you are indeed capable of being a practitioner in the sense that you can apply these principles in your life and you can begin to uncover your own hidden beliefs that act as a law unto your life. You can begin to recognize what the truth is and focus on that versus focusing on what the lie is. You can begin to simply, through your spiritual practice and through your dedication and through your time and education, begin to absorb that which is necessary to recognize and open yourself up to recognize where these hidden beliefs have been living and operating as a law unto your life. You crack me up. That's where we begin to recognize within each other and see the truth about each other. A practitioner is a person who looks and says, look at God expressing. Look at God as you, as each and every one of us, regardless of the condition, regardless of the circumstance or the situation. A practitioner knows And a practitioner does her work or his work in mind. That even though the world of appearances might look like something is circling the drain, getting ready to go, a practitioner knows that everything is coming together for our highest good, for our collective highest good. That regardless of the situation, regardless of the appearance, and we treat and we recognize that within ourselves. We separate the misbelief from the believer. So if I believe in lack and limitation and doubt and fear and hatred, if I believe in separation, then that is exactly what I get to experience. I get to experience and see all the ways that I'm less than you or better than you. I get to experience and see financial lack in my bank accounts, in my pockets, in the world. I begin to see the stock market failing. I begin to see, people losing their houses. The work must be done here, in my own mind. And as a community, together, collectively, when we begin to think and to see and to recognize a world that works for everyone, that's when it begins to really happen. The work begins here in my mind. It is really about uncovering those filters in which I have been socialized to see or to recognize, and where I have an opportunity to now say, oh, wait a minute, this is not the truth in the absolute. What is true of God is true of me. What is true of God is true of all life. It's true of you. And that's what I get to remember and recognize as a practitioner. I get to see that, and I get to recognize that, and I get to know it for myself. Part of the stuff that Rosedale was reading was amazing. Here's the part that I underlined in my Science of Mind book, because I like to highlight and underline and put stars next to stuff. And, I figure if my Science of Mind book falls apart, at least my life won't. Because it means that I'm in it, and that I'm studying it, and that I'm recognizing it, and that I'm using it, and that I'm doing my best to absorb the content of it so that I know it for myself. 2 + 2 is, you know that. You know that. It's been so taught throughout infinity of time in terms of mathematics and what 1 + 1 is and 2 + 2 is. And yet, when I ask, where is God? I might get a lot of different answers. And so what is that belief that I have? What is it that I'm being taught now? And does it jive? Or do I need to really dive in a little bit more to this truth that really resonates with me? This truth that says that God is everywhere present, therefore God is living in, through, and as my life. I remember the first time I heard that in Science of Mind groups, and it was like, whoa. My mind said, oh my gosh, blasphemy. But my heart said, but that feels right. That seems like it seems correct. And so I had to unlearn these beliefs, these things that I believed, in order to really know the truth, in order to really follow my heart. So here on page 169, it says, the practitioner realizes that man is born of spirit and not of matter. He realizes this until he sees his patient living embodiment of perfection. The practitioner, then, is one who recognizes the power of mind, definitely, specifically, concretely, and consciously speaks from his objective mind into the subjectivity and gives a direction to the law, which is the actor. That's a lot of words to simply say that because God is living in, through, and as me, there is a universal law. And that universal law pretty much gives me what it says yes. Okay? It says yes to me. Whatever it is. I want a box of chocolate. Yes. If I truly believe it. If I truly believe it. So if I'm believing in lack and limitation, whether I speak it or whether it's just that I'm believing it with all the passion because I'm paying attention to the news and the stock market went down and this one went bankrupt and whatever, and I'm saying what's happening in the world is against me, it's not a friendly universe, and I'm hearing people and I'm hanging out with folks that are chattering about lack and limitation and doubt and fear and how dangerous it is to live in this world, then what I have come to believe is that same thing, and by means of my belief, that is exactly what I'm placing into this universal presence that says yes, and it says yes and it gives me more. So then when I open the newspaper or then when I listen to the radio or when I talk to people, they're going to tell me the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And it's just going to reinforce that same thing over and over. I'm going to believe in separation and lack and limitation. I'm going to believe in doubt and fear. I'm going to believe that my life is worthless, and before you know it, it is. And it becomes this vicious cycle. But as a practitioner, as a person who practices these principles, as a person here, sitting here, you, beloved, have an opportunity to train your mind, to train your way of being, to become this living lay practitioner and begin to see things from a different perspective. Begin to know the truth about yourself. Begin to know the truth about everyone else. Begin to value the differences and not be afraid of them. Begin to see that indeed we live in a friendly universe. Begin to see that all your needs have been met. If you're sitting here, believe me, your needs have been met. Whether you got here on bus or foot or bike or whether you hitchhiked or whatever, if you got here, your needs are met. If we begin to really look at the abundance in our life, instead of looking at where it's not, and begin to really see where someone took us out to dinner or someone bought us a Starbucks card, we can begin to see the abundance in our life. It depends on where we're looking. So here, it's simply letting me know that I have to recognize that my mind is powerful, and I begin to train my mind. Sunny Daye tells me like this. She goes, it's kind of like going to the gym. At first you may not want to do it, but you go 3, 4, 5 times a week. Before you know it, you start developing these muscles or this tone in your body, depending on what you want to do, and you start seeing the results. And the muscle, the mind is like a muscle, the mental muscle. If we begin to exercise it, expand it, and use it, begin to tone it up, begin to clear away the toxins of the mind, meaning those false ideas, those false thoughts, those things that have been acting as a law into our lives, as we begin to uncover the hidden beliefs, clearing away those toxins and replacing them with that which is the truth, that my life is the life of God no matter what. No matter what anybody says. In the beginning there was God, and God created everything. It created everything out of itself. And if it didn't, it must have been God and something else. Because if there's only me and I create, then I have to create everything out of myself. An act of involution. It comes in, through, and as me. If there's only me to start. But if there's me and something else, well then, hey, we're going to have to start all over again. Maybe start with something else, because what we believe and what we teach and what we know is that in the beginning, there's only God. Therefore, the logical outcome is that your life is that same life. And that which is true of God is true of you. So we get to get rid of those ideas, those toxins, those false thoughts. And we give direction onto the law. So when we say my life is abundant, when we say my life is filled with love, when we say everything is coming together for my good, when we say I am better and better every day in every way, simply by stating that and believing it and coming to believe it a little bit more, just like you told me 2 + 2 is 4, you didn't really know that. Some teacher in the 2nd grade or the 1st grade taught you that. Maybe the teacher was your parent at home, but you learned that, and later on you began to recognize and begin to see the logic of, oh, 2 + 2 is 4. Oh, okay. And it began to make sense, but at first, somebody just told you 2 + 2 is 4. And you started memorizing your additions table and your multiplication tables, and you started absorbing that stuff because you were tested on it. So next week, I'm going to give you a test. I'm kidding. Just checking to see who's still awake. Right? So here's what we get to do. 2 + 2 is 4. Yeah, we already know that. My life is the life of God. Try that on for size. You know, bench press that for a little while. Put that on your treadmill. Right? My life is the life of God. My life is abundant. Joy and happiness exudes from me. I attract wonderful and magnificent people. Everything is coming together for my good. I am better and better every day in every way. If we begin to exercise our mental muscle with these affirmations, with these truths, these principles that are true, it's not like I'm telling you something that's a lie. It's not like I'm lying to you. It's not like I'm telling you 2 + 3 is 4. I'm giving you the truth of who you are. So take that. Prac me up. Take that. And begin to do the steps necessary to believe it. So here's the deal. My life is abundant. Many of you might go, now that's not really true. Just last week, here's the funny part. Just last week, I had plumbing problems at our property. And the plumber said, $6,500. And me and Sonny looked at each other, we laughed. We're trying to go on vacation. He wants $6,500. We have a few choices, right? I'm going to pass the basket in a minute. No, I'm kidding. You crack me up, yeah. The choices are to move into fear, doubt, worry, and say, oh, well, I guess nobody can flush the toilet or take a shower anymore until we get it. The other is to simply know that everything is coming together for our highest good. And know that it's all unfolding for a wonderful and divine purpose. And that all of us who live on the property deserve to take showers and have running water and flushing toilets and great hygiene. And so we said, all right, do the work. And it comes. And it comes. It becomes available. All of a sudden, a way is made out of no way. But there was once upon a time where I would go, oh my God, we don't have it. Hidden belief, we don't have it. I live in lack and limitation, doubt and fear. And by me saying it with such conviction, oh my God, we don't have it, it's going to show up because the law says yes. Because the universe says, yes, you're right, sunshine, you don't have it. Or we can say, yes, let's get it done. And the universe says, yes, absolutely. Everything is coming together for your highest good. Everything is coming together for the good of all. and it gets done. And it gets done. Because that's the way of life. That's the way it works. So the bottom line then is, am I going to spend my time, AKA waste my time, for me personally, being in doubt and fear and worry, or am I going to be a great steward of my time, of my energy, of my mind, and become this practitioner that knows the truth beyond the world of appearance? The more completely the practitioner is convinced of the power of his own word, the more power his word will have. When you once upon a time said, "Oh my God, I don't have it," I was convinced that I didn't have it, and I didn't have it. But when I began to do the work and know that a way can be made out of no way, meaning my mind, my logical mind, may not see where $6,500 is going to come from in this moment. But there is this deep belief within me now because of the work, because of the dedication, because of the meditation, the prayer, the studying, the reading the book, the being with it, having conversation, being around people who crack me up and tell me, yeah, that's right, and lift me up. Because of that, there's a foundation that has been set that instead of me going to the place of I don't have it, I automatically now go to a place a way will be made out of no way. We live in a world of infinite possibilities, so the infinite possibility has to fall upon it's going to happen. It's going to get done. There's infinite possibilities. Why would I want to choose and collapse on a possibility of it ain't going to happen? Why would I want to choose and collapse a possibility of lack or limitation or doubt or fear or worry or strife or separation or anything of the like when there's that or there's infinite possibilities? There's so many ways that gets done and it gets taken care of. My thing is, hey, if there's infinite possibilities, then a way is going to be made out of no way. Let's start. Let's get it done. In 2 days, it was already done. I haven't paid a dime yet, but it's already done. If I'd have been living in doubt and fear, it'd have been like, can't get it done, sorry. And I'd have been telling folks, you can't shower, you can't do this. You see what I'm saying? Somehow or another, it all unfolds. It unfolds perfectly. Everything is coming together for my good. Everything is coming together for our good. So the more completely you begin to be convinced of the power in your word, and you can look throughout your life and see where you have spoken the word for yourself, and it is, quote unquote, the self-fulfilling prophecy. You know when you've done that for the good of your life, and you know that when it has happened, when you have prophesied something that wasn't for your highest and best and it showed up. That's because there's power in your word. There's not just power in my word and not power in your word. There's power in your word. Practitioners, what are you practicing? Practitioners, what are you telling yourselves? Practitioners. We are a community of practitioners. We get to practice. We get to practice day in, day out. There must be a recognition that the power of the word, operating as the truth and reality of being, can do all things. Therefore, the person whose consciousness is the clearest, who has the most complete faith, will be the best healer. Will be the best healer. And that is because we are clear. And it takes time to become clear. Sometimes it takes an instant, and sometimes it takes a little more practice. That's why they call it practitioner, because we get to practice. We get to practice knowing this truth. We get to practice reminding ourselves of the truth. We get to practice seeing God in each and every situation. We get to practice seeing the variety that is God. We get to recognize where signs and things come up. When they come up, when we get that fear and doubt or whatever, we get to go, oh, I must be forgetting that God is that group of young people right there. They're not going to hurt me. I live in a friendly universe. But, we've been socialized to believe that any, gang or any group of young people, no, look at the way God expresses as these young people. They're over there playing softball, over there expressing and radiating life. So we get to be reminded of those times where we may come up against something that we've been taught from childhood on, and we get to go, that's not the truth, and uncover it and shine the light on it and become our own practitioner and see our licensed practitioners, because they can help us. They can help us uncover the truth of who we are. You cracked me up. I think I'm feeling pretty complete. I think I laid a lot on y'all. So let's just kind of take what we got and let's just take it into a few minutes of silence. Let's just be with it in our quiet time. And think about, for a moment, the kind of practitioner we want to be for ourselves and in the world. I want to be the kind of practitioner who recognizes love and joy and peace and harmony and abundance and wisdom and beauty and creativity in situations. And so I simply begin to absorb those things. I begin to see them and point them out. I begin to pat myself on the back when I recognize it and that I see it and that I acknowledge it. I reward myself for that. And I begin to then incorporate a new belief, because that belief is this deep conviction. And just like we have that simple, deep conviction of sitting in a chair without checking it out, I want to have that same deep conviction, that knowing, that belief, that trust that my life is a life of God, and that therefore everything unfolds not only for my highest good, but for the highest good of all around. And so I want to see that and experience it. So I allow myself now to simply take that in and allow my quiet time to reveal to me that which is necessary to achieve that and to know that for myself.
We are wholeness and completeness. We're given all we need. We are whole.
And as we know that we are indeed whole, we know that our life is that life that God is. We anchor that. It becomes the default, the correct default. We anchor it into our minds, into our consciousness, simply clearing away anything that is unlike this fullness, unlike this truth of who we are. And we allow that to fall into the nothingness from which it came, and we simply anchor in the truth of who we are. When you see me, you see the beautiful and magnificent way that God is expressing on this planet. When I see you, I see the beautiful and magnificent way that God is expressing on this planet. And that is our truth. That is what I believe. I believe in God and in nothing else. And all the infinite ways that God expresses itself. I give thanks that this is the truth that I know, and that this is the truth that I believe in, and that this is the truth that we begin to practice together as a community. I give thanks that we get to do this together, that we get to lead each other on, that we get to be practitioners for one another, and that we get to be practitioner for ourselves, and that we get to practice these principles in all our affairs, that we begin to practice these universal principles in our family life, in our work life, in our leisure life, in every aspect of our life. That which is true of God is true of all of us, for we are the divine and exquisite way that life shows up, that God shows up, that love shows up, that abundance shows up, that peace and harmony and wisdom and creativity and divine beauty shows up on this planet. It is us. It is we. So we let it be. And we let that rest, not only in our minds, but we let it rest in our souls. We let it rest in our bellies. We feel full, satiated. Our thirst has been quenched. And we allow that to resonate in through each and every cell, every system of our bodies, recognizing and knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that my life is the life of God, now and forevermore. It is so, and so it is. Amen. Amen. Y'all look a little bit different. Like y'all know something. Welcome back. Thank you for being here today. You mean the world to me. And I recognize that living beauty in, through, and as you right now. Thank you. I'm going to invite our ushers to come forward. This is our opportunity to share our gifts, our tithes, our blessings with this community. We know that we have received so much, and what we have an opportunity to do is redistribute the good that has been given to us. So as you take your gifts, your tithes, and your offerings, that which you've brought to share with the spiritual community, and you hold it in your hand, simply become grateful for something anything. Because the invitation is to give from that place of gratitude, not from the place of obligation. Because you don't have to do anything. But from that place of gratitude, we get to simply give freely. And as we give freely, we continue to receive in big and glorious ways. So as you redistribute your good by placing it in the basket, I'm knowing that that which is placed in these baskets is indeed blessed. That we're indeed great stewards of what has been given, and that we use it for the highest good of this community and communities even beyond this community. How grateful I am for the abundance of this community and the abundance that is generously shared for the upkeep of Seaside, for the blessing of Seaside, for the prosperity and the outreach that we have an opportunity to do. How grateful I am that these gifts, these tithes, these blessings are used specifically that we might know our life as the life of God. And in each and every way that we do that, it is for that divine purpose. So I give thanks for that which fills these baskets and know that they are multiplied even more. So it is. Amen. Go forth, that's yours. And as you give, you have an opportunity to receive. So please open your hearts and receive the beautiful music of Sunny Daye, Jim Bianchi, and Cole Miller.
Let's give some love to Reverend Sunshine. There is a power, a presence, one life of all, and no other power can exist outside of the infinite. Oh, one love, there can only be God's love. Oh, yes, I know that I walk. Oh, yes, I walk in the love of God. There is a wisdom, a knowing, a loving, and a truth. Whatever you need to know will come in God's way for you. Oh, just stay until it shows and pray. I won't move until I know that I walk in the love of God. For the power and the glory and the love of God is everywhere. I see it, it's everywhere. I feel it, it's everywhere. I know in my heart that the power and the glory and the love of God, oh, it's everywhere. Can't you see it? It's everywhere. I feel it, it's everywhere. I know in my heart, oh, that I walk in the love of God. Yes. everywhere. I feel it, it's everywhere. I know in my heart you are the power, we are the glory, we are the love of God. Ooh, it's everywhere. I see it, it's everywhere. I feel it, it's everywhere. I know in my heart, oh, that I walk in the love of God. There's a power, there's a presence, one life of all. No other power can exist outside of the infinite. Oh, one love, there can only be God's love. Oh, yes, I know that I walk. Oh, yes, I walk in the love of God. I walk in the love of God. Ooh, yes, I walk in the love of God. The love of God.
Yeah. Sunny Daye, Jim Bianchi, Cole Miller. That's our beautiful music team. What a joy. Wow. Even Mellow Daye was getting in on that song a little bit. Well, we have time for one or two quick share-outs from the community. I think it's always important to hear from you. What's up for you, what's available for you, something that you've got, a gem that you're going to take with you from tonight's music or talk or anything like that. I got one taker right here. That's how God rolls.
My name's Chris, and I got an A+ on my science report.
Nice. Congratulations, Chris. Nice job, young man. A gem, something you're going to take with you, something you learned today, something that moved you. Yes. That's right. That's how God rolls. You're welcome.
So I'm Kathy, and you were talking about doing the plumbing without necessarily knowing where the income was going to come from. I so believe in unexpected income.
Yes.
I opened my mail yesterday, and the mortgage for the year had overpaid. I don't even remember what it was, insurance or taxes or something, and I got a rebate. Totally unexpected, knew nothing about it. Cleaned out, doing my spring cleaning, doing my dresser drawer, found a piggy bank. I must have had $100 in coins because I just kept throwing it in there for a year. I didn't know. So, thank you.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Anybody else? Burning desire? All right, perfect. Hey, next week is our Daye service, the 5th Wednesday of every month. It's happening this month, and it's also happening in July. The 5th Wednesday of each month, we have an opportunity to do kind of a slightly different type of service. It's going to be quite meditative and singing, a lot of music, and a lot of just introspection. We're going to have some candles. It's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be pretty cool. So the invitation is to be generous and invite some folks. That's what I mean, be generous. Be generous with your invitation. Invite as many folks as you can. We'd love to fill up the place, and the lights will be kind of dim. We'll be singing. We'll be having some introspection and some readings and things of that nature. It'll still be an hour. Don't worry, we won't go all night. But believe me, by the time the hour's over, y'all like, can't we stay some more? Because it's just such a sweet gift to give yourself. So the invitation is to come. There's a Facebook page on it. So if you're not my friend on Facebook, go ahead. go ahead and find me, and this way you can Facebook your friends or use social media to invite as many people as you want to as well. So thank you so much for being here. I want to make sure that I thank our practitioners, Rosedale, who represented our practitioner team here in the pulpit. Thank you so much. Denise, who's been holding vigil in the back. These practitioners are going to be available for prayer right after service. Please avail yourself to the gift of prayer. Also, if you don't find the need to actually meet one-on-one to pray with them, if you'd like to fill out a prayer request form, right behind Denise is a form. Just let us know what you want us to know about you, what truth and what quality you want to experience in your life. And all of the practitioner corps and the ministers here will know this truth for you, and we'll keep you and hold you in our prayers. Want to thank Melanie. Thank you so much. Our sound crew tonight. Tim, thank you so much, beloved. He's our video guy, and make sure that we're live streaming all over the world. Thank you so much for your service. Melissa and Dennis, thank you so much for being our ushers tonight and helping with our offering and collection. And then I want to thank our music team again, Cole Miller, Jim Bianchi, Sunny Daye. And last but not least, I want to thank you for being here, for wanting to be on the spiritual path, and for knowing the truth about yourself, and wanting to simply be here with us so that we have a community in which we can grow and know the truth for ourselves and prac each other up. All right? It's now time for us to rise. What am I forgetting? Nothing, right? Jenny, our coordinator. Jenny.
Where's Jenny?
She's out coordinating, see?
Jenny.
She's out coordinating. We'll make sure we give her a
Jenny
big
rocks.
hug of thank you. We're going to hang out after service in the family room with refreshments. Please join us. Oh, you're going to use that mic? Let's move this out the way.
So again, please come to the Daye service. Jim and Cole and I will be creating some lovely music with our practitioners. And it's such a joy and a pleasure for us. And we just want to share in that with you. It's such a lovely vibration on an evening like that. So I do invite you to come and be in prayer and music and meditation with us. And so now we'll sing our prayer.
This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see, with open hearts and open hands. We lift our voices, in love we stand. This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see, with open hearts and open hands. We lift our voices, in love we stand. We lift our voices, in love we stand. We lift our voices, in love we stand.
Join us in the family room. I love you. Good night.
Love you.
You gonna get the baby?
I expect a miracle every day. God will make a way out of no way. I expect a miracle every day. God will make a way out of no way. Just believe and receive it. God will perform it today. Hey, hey, just believe and receive it. God will perform it today. Yeah, yeah, just believe and receive it. God will perform it today. Oh, I expect a miracle Just believe and receive it. God will perform it today. Hey, hey, just believe and receive it. God will perform it today. Yeah, yeah. Just believe and receive. God will perform it today.